Hey yo everyone, this is the HappyAnimaidCafeManager here with another walkthrough episode for the game Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. Almost said Dual Destinies right there because the title was stuck on me in my head. For airtight testimony. So what about this airtight testimony? It's that old security lady, Miss Oldbag. I thought so. What do you mean you thought so? Did she tell you something, pal? Well, and I even told her not to open that mouth of person's blab to anyone. Her blab knob is stuck on 10. And there's no turning it down, trust me. Yeah, well, Miss Oldbag saw it all, pal. She saw Mr. Ungard come out of the victim's room around the estimated time of death. No way! We're pretty interested in this bit of gossip ourselves. This scandal with Mr. Corrida, but why? Well, 2 years ago, a woman committed suicide. Suicide? Her name was Celeste Impact. And she was Juan Corrida's manager. The victim's manager? But that's not all, pal. Miss Impact was Miss Adrian Andrews' mentor. She taught Miss Andrews everything she knew about the business from square one. Her mentor, a woman who has both Miss Corrida's manager and Miss Andrews' mentor. Could her suicide have something to do with this case? Do you want to know more about her, pal? She was the victim's manager and also Miss Adrian Andrews' mentor. It's been 2 years since her suicide, and now those two are linked again by another death. Or maybe it's just a coincidence, but... Wow! I'm getting sick of dealing with one foolish idiot after another. Miss Von Karma, you can't seem to stop allying yourself with the enemy, can you? I don't need a traitor in my midst. You don't mean? I do. Scruffy, you have 30 minutes to get out of here. You are no longer needed. Goodbye. That's... What? Wait, please wait, sir. If I don't get this month's pay... Quiet. If it weren't for traitors like you, I would have won. Is that what you wanted to say? Who? That voice. Edward! It's been a long time, right? This person... This is Mr. Edgeworth? What am I going to do with you? Still blaming others when things go wrong? You haven't changed a bit, Francisca. You! How dare you show your face to me without a shred of shame upon it? You've soiled the Von Karma name and dragged it through the mud. Run away with your tail between your legs like the ill-bred dog you are. You are talking about the Von Karma family creed, to be perfect in every way. Then let's hear it, Francisca. How are things going? I hear you are having a rough time maintaining perfection in this country. You seem to be getting crushed out under the weight of it all. That's why I came back. Keep your assumptions to yourself. I haven't given in yet. I won't lose. This case is mine. I'll never hand it over to you. Never. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I will see you tomorrow in court. It will be a clinical lesson on the meaning of total victory. Still the same wild mare she always was. Tomorrow's trial? I thought the prosecutor Miles Edgeworth had gone and died. Mr. Nick, I never wanted to see you again. I think that's enough of a warm welcome for someone you haven't seen in a year. Are you going to run tomorrow's trial? You heard her, right? That wild mare hasn't given in yet, it seems. So no, I don't think I'll be making an appearance. Your hatred for me is quite unhealthy, not to mention one-sided. But I will say one thing. You can't win on your own at the trial tomorrow. What is that supposed to mean? I have something definite that you lack, and that's the definition of teamwork. It's the power to find the truth. The truth? In order to understand this case, you have to understand a certain truth. Well, if you ever feel the need for my assistance, it is available to you. I'm not in charge of this case, so I can be a bit more generous with information. Just what is going on inside his head? Proof of Von Karma blood. A lot of things may have happened, however, Manfred Von Karma was still my mentor. And a perfect win record is proof of a Von Karma. 1 year ago, you could not establish skill in a few cases. Are those losses the reason you suddenly disappeared from the prosecutor's office? Did you leave because you had lost your perfect win record? To think your motivation for prosecuting trials was so selfish. It's been better for everyone if you never came back from the dead, Edgeworth. I see, then let me ask you something. Why do you stand in the courtroom? What is your reason? Why stand in court? Well, if it was Francisca, she would most definitely say, I will defeat you this time, the instant she saw me. But the courtroom is not a personal battlefield for prosecutors and lawyers. I stand in this courtroom to defend my clients, to save their lives. To save your client, you say. Those who think only of their own ego-driven goals, those kinds of prosecutors are reprehensible to me. Even if you're a prodigy, or someone like you, Edgeworth, it looks like there is still a lot you have yet to learn. A lot I have yet to learn. Me? Well, that's enough for now. The time when you will see is coming soon enough. I have no interest in talking about useless evidence. Put a little more thought into what you show me, Phoenix Wright, still as stuck up as ever. Miles Edgeworth, now 25, a gifted prosecutor. He disappeared suddenly a year ago. Celeste Impact, deceased female, was Andrew's mentor and Korea's manager. Killed herself 2 years ago. We are looking into leads, but we can only look into a few key players with our limited resources. There's no reason for us to waste our energy investigating this person. Why don't you just tell it to me straight and say, I don't have any info. Adrian Andrews. She holds a large secret within herself. A secret? You can't help but feel that this whole case revolves around her. This woman is another key to the case. Do you really think so? She was Adrian Andrews' mentor a long time ago. But suddenly, she was called away to a production and became Juan Corrida's manager. And then a few months later, Celeste Impact died. But her death was a suicide, right? Yes. But there is still one riddle left unsolved. Riddle? A riddle? Her suicide note. It went missing. No one could find it. A suicide note that just vanished, huh? While I was abroad, these deplorable types of actors became popular, I take it. Well, refreshing like a spring breeze is his motto. Refreshing, and what is it so refreshing about a spring breeze? Sounds like the pollen is not treating him well this year. This is an interesting rumor about this man. There's an interesting rumor about this man. You mean the one about Miss Andrews getting close to him? That's a pretty common tabloid fare, isn't it? I don't take things at face value when there's more to be found. Missing suicide note. Miss Impact's death was most certainly a suicide. Of that, there is no mistake. However, we could not find her suicide note. That's when the police began to suspect that someone had hidden it. The suicide note, but how do you know Miss Impact had even written such a note? There was no solid evidence, however. We did find traces of ink on her right index finger, which makes the likelihood of a suicide note very high. But who would hide such a thing? The police think it was Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? He was the one who found her body, which makes him the only person who had the chance to hide her suicide note. Miss Correa had hid his own manager's suicide note, but why? As long as her note is missing, any speculation beyond this is meaningless. For now, I think you should look at this over. This is the suicide report, part 1 anyway. Part 1, suicide report. Type reports received from Miles Edgeworth. The list of impacts found by Juan Correa. Was her suicide note hidden? I don't like to look through reports. I like suicide reports even less. Worst of all, the reports that have multiple parts like that one has two. 2 parts? What you just handed me is the first part of the report. Here is the second part. The second part of the report is about an attempted suicide. The attempter's name is Adrian Andrews. Miss Andrews, what did she do? She tried to kill herself. So doesn't seem like that kind of person to try and kill herself. You think she's a strong career woman. That is just her image. Adrian Andrews, she has a certain secret she's always trying to hide. A secret. Her codependency. That's the key word. Codependency. The word for most unsuited to describing that woman. Codependency. So how are Adrian Andrews and codependency related? Adrian Andrews attempted at suicide was a few days after the death of Celeste Impact. And why did Adrian Andrews think about committing suicide? Quite possibly because she had lost her will to live. Lost her will? But why would she? Her pillar of strength, her mentor Celeste Impact was gone forever. That's why. Why would that? Is this what they call following someone to the grave? After her attempted suicide, Adrian Andrews started attending counseling sessions. She is a person who looks for someone she could trust unconditionally. And once she finds that someone, she blindly follows them. Without someone to guide her, she feels uneasy and can't carry herself through life. And that's her codependency. When Celeste Impact suddenly committed suicide, the world before her turned pitch dark. That's according to Adrian Andrews herself. Then that means her super confident attitude is all a facade. She's only copying her mentor's behavior to hold herself together. How terrible. Attempted suicide reports received from Edgeworth. Appearances could be deceiving. It's such a cliche saying, but it's a cliche because it's true. Miss Andrews, to think that behind the unwavering brave front, she's been hiding this weakness and fear. March 21st, Gatewater Hotel. Unguard's hotel room. Oh, Miss Andrews is here, but it looks like she's talking with someone. That's Francisca von Karma. Miss von Karma, what are you doing here? Well, you see, I'm his lawyer, so you've got some nerve following me around. Following you? That's you, Miss von Karma. You're the one doing the following. Pearl. You're always following after that Mr. Detective with the little beard. Me? Following after Scruffy? Don't make me laugh. I'll show you something interesting, little girl. What is that? An electromagnetic receiver. I planted a tracking device on that detective, and with this, I know that fool's every move. So that noise we heard was this receiver. I feel really sorry for poor Detective Gumshoe now. Now then, let's stop wasting time. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? Alright. What were those two talking about? Miss Andrews, she seems a little dazed, doesn't she? All there is left to ask is motive for murder. You know something, don't you, about why Mr. Correa was murdered? Why are you asking me? Don't tell me you could see inside my heart. No, but I could see the locks you have on your psyche. If you don't remove her locks, yeah, it's worthless to even ask. I don't want to make too many mistakes before the trial. Motive for murder. Why was Juan Correa murdered? If you ask me, I think you know the reason he was killed. Why are you hiding things? Don't you realize you're putting Mr. Unguard's life in danger by your actions? Why do you ask questions for which I have no answer? The truth is, I was not that close to Mr. Correa. You were not that close? That's right. I've never been good at being intimate with another person. You are not good at being intimate with another person. Somehow I highly doubt that. You and Mr. Correa had an intimate relationship, did you not? A silly third-rate tabloid article. If you even have half your wits about you, you wouldn't believe such rubbish. Well, it seems quite a few people buy into this story. That's to be expected in a world filled with crooks and liars. Note to self, stay on our good side. In any case, I despise interpersonal relationships like that. I see, however, what if there was a need for you to get close to someone? Me? Need to get close to Mr. Correa? As if there was ever such a need. Didn't you get close to Mr. Correa for this person's sake? Celeste Impact, your mentor. Why do you know about Celeste? Miss Impact, she committed suicide, didn't she? But it looks like no one knows why. Right before her death, she was Juan Correa's manager, so I believe you got close to Mr. Correa so you could find out more about her suicide. You have a great imagination. You may have a future yet as a slimy muckracker for a future third-rate tabloid. Miss Andrews, there was no mystery surrounding her death, none. And it would be pointless for me to force myself into a relationship for nothing. Is that really true? Was there really no mystery at all? I don't believe you were completely at ease with the way her suicide was resolved. Was her suicide note, Miss Impact's suicide note was never found, was it? It looks like the police were under the suspicion that someone had hidden it, like maybe the person who discovered her body, Miss Corrida. Juan? And Miss Andrews, I believe you thought the same thing. That is why you became intimate with Mr. Corrida. I've sat by quietly and listened to her insulting ramblings long enough. It's true that Celeste was my mentor, however, allow me to say this again. It had nothing to do with me. I didn't even know that her suicide note was never found. I'm a person who doesn't care about what goes on in the lives of others. That's the impression you like to give, however. I don't think that's who you really are. What? I have evidence that says otherwise. This is proof that Celeste Impact was very special to you. Miss Andrews, you went through it too, didn't you? Went through what? A suicide. Miss Andrews, you look and act like a very strong woman who has it all together. You don't ask for anyone's help and you live by yourself. Yes, I've been very independent ever since I could remember. However, that is all just a lie, a facade. You've always searched out people on whom you could depend on. You were dependent on Miss Impact, weren't you? Which is why, when she passed away, you lost everything you had. Stop! When Celeste passed away so suddenly like that, I died the death of my own, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop thinking about what had become of her notes. You must have heard about the police reports. The one that said the police suspected Mr. Corrida of hiding Miss Impact's notes. You heard about it and thought to recover it from him by getting close, am I right? If that's the case, then everything changes. Well, what do you mean? What topic did we start this conversation on again? It was why was the victim killed? Exactly. Somehow, Miss Andrews, it seems that you have become one of the most likely to want to Mr. Corrida dead. Me? Miss Impact was everything to you. And then she died. And you would do anything to find out why she killed herself. Even commit murder. Murder? Unlocked successful. Motive for murder. It's true, I am a woman who can only live in insecurity. I'm physically small and I don't really have a lot of self-confidence. I've pushed against all that though I've tried to live strongly. I never wanted anyone to find out the truth. Miss Andrews, it's the one thing I wanted to take with me to the grave. It was my secret, mine and mine alone. I'm sorry. You probably think I'm a worthless human being right now, don't you? Please, Miss Andrews, all I want to know is the truth. After Celeste passed away, I heard that someone had hidden her suicide note, and that someone was Juan Corrida. Celeste. Without her, I became scared. Everyone seemed like they were out to get me. So you got close to Mr. Corrida to recover her suicide note, correct? Looks like that tabloid reported the truth after all. Ironic, isn't it? Well, like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if they purposely add fuel to the fire, they keep the celebrity world burning. But as for the suicide note, I didn't and wouldn't kill anyone for it. It just doesn't suit me, that's all. Well, that's enough for now. I still have work to do, so I understand. Oh, I have one small favor to ask. My attempted suicide, I'd like for you to keep it a secret. Miss Andrews, if people found out about my weakness, I would sooner choose death to die than live. Alright, I understand. We'll keep it a secret. Miss Andrews, I guess she's always thinking type. She never says anything carelessly, it seems. Thank you very much. Mr. Nick, can I ask you something? What is it? Miss Andrews has been playing with that card in her hand since a little while back. That card. Yeah, I guess she has. Miss Andrews, what is that card you're holding? Huh? Oh, this. I don't quite know. It's just suddenly appeared in my handbag. What is this? It looks like a seashell. That's what it looks like. It doesn't it? I honestly don't remember owning this card. I wonder where I picked it up from. Her not remembering something clearly sounds like it would be a rare occurrence. Well, I must be off. I leave Mr. on guard in your capable hands. Alright, back at the hallway. Well, I think we've gathered about all we can. Well, what about Mystic Maya? Is she alright? Oh, Pearl, she looks so worn out by all this. She hasn't slept at all and has been walking all over the place with me today. What's wrong, Mr. Nick? Let's go back to the office for a little while. You're really tired, right? Oh, no. I'm okay. Really, I'm fine. I really am. You don't look fine to me. Back at the office. So what now? Well, we did find one thing for sure. Miss Andrews has a motive. And you mean Miss Impact's suicide note? That's right. She was also the one to discover the victim's body. Clever. Mr. Nick, the transceiver. Hello, this is the law office of Miss Wright and Company. Mr. Attorney, you're not answering a phone. Maya, where's Maya? As I promised, I have not come within a few feet of her this whole time. Phew. Which is why I suppose she is absolutely famished. What? So I suggest you win a quick acquittal, my friend. At any cost, wouldn't you agree? Wait, Maya, let me hear her. Very well. Ask Maya, is that you? Sis! Ask my sis. Maya, damn it! He cut me off. Mystic Maya said, ask my sis, didn't she? Sis, what does she mean by that? Come on, Phoenix. Ugh, you're a hopeless one. I'm sorry. Mia! I have a message from Maya, so come ask me anything you want about her. Maya's situation. How's Maya? She's safe for now. That kidnapper's want to keep his word, it seems. I'm glad to hear she's safe. But Mia, how did you know? As soon as she was locked up, Maya called for me. I read the note she left. Then I gathered as much information about her surroundings as I could. I didn't know you could use spirit channeling like this. Pretty smart of her. Alright, thanks for watching. Until next time, to be continued, baby.